Have you ever wondered if your cat is actually a tiny scientist or just a jerk? When your cat stares you dead in the eyes while slowly pushing your glass off the counter, that's not random chaos. That's a high-stakes predatory calibration rooted in ancient survival instincts, and today we're breaking down exactly what's happening in your cat's brain in that exact moment. You know the scene. Your cat locks eyes with you, extends one paw, and deliberately taps your coffee mug toward the edge of the counter, watching your reaction the entire time. It happens in almost every cat household on Earth, and almost every owner assumes the same thing. Their cat is simply being difficult. But that assumption is wrong. This isn't spite, and it isn't boredom either. What you're actually watching is a sophisticated biological diagnostic tool in action. Your cat isn't misbehaving, it's running a test. And once you understand what that test is measuring, the entire behavior stops looking like chaos and starts looking like precision. So what exactly is being tested? The answer starts in the last place most owners would ever think to look: the sensitive pads on the bottom of your cat's paws. Because those paws aren't just for walking, they're some of the most sophisticated sensory tools in the entire animal kingdom. A cat's paw pads are packed with mechanoreceptors and specialized nerve endings that detect weight, texture, and stability with extraordinary precision. Every time a paw makes contact with an object, it's collecting real data. Is this heavy or light, solid or hollow, stable or unstable? It's less like a paw and more like a built-in scientific instrument. That's exactly what the paw tap is for. A single light touch is enough for a cat to gather data on whether an object is truly inanimate, or whether it might actually be something alive, something that could suddenly bolt. In the wild, misjudging that difference could mean missing a meal or missing a threat. And here's the part that closes the loop. The moment an object actually moves, something measurable happens in your cat's brain. A genuine spike in adrenaline and dopamine fires off, the exact same neurological reward that would fire during a real successful hunting sequence in the wild. Quick question for you watching. Does your cat have a specific object it always goes for? A certain pen, a certain cup? Comment it below, because that pattern is rarely actually random. To understand why any of this exists, we have to go back to the wild. Small prey animals, mice, lizards, insects, survive by freezing perfectly still and hiding under brush, leaves, or debris, relying entirely on staying motionless and camouflage to avoid becoming a meal. A predator that just waits for prey to move on its own starves, so cats evolved a solution: actively disturbing the environment to force hidden prey to reveal itself. That's called flushing. Deliberately knocking, prodding, or disrupting cover until whatever's hiding underneath has no choice but to break and run. Now picture a mouse frozen in tall grass. A cat pushing through that grass with its paws, performing exactly the same motion as a cat pushing your car keys across a granite countertop. Your kitchen counter has unintentionally become a stand-in for a hunting ground, and every object on it is a potential target for the exact same ancient maneuver. But it's not just about finding prey. There's a second, deeper reward hiding underneath all of this. When an object falls, tumbles, and skitters unpredictably across the floor, its erratic motion closely mimics the final desperate movements of injured prey. What's sometimes called the death throes, that chaotic, unpredictable falling pattern is psychologically satisfying to a cat in a very real, measurable way. Here's the problem though. In the wild, that instinct gets balanced by resistance. Prey fights back, runs, hides again. Indoors, a coffee mug offers zero resistance whatsoever. It just falls and shatters instantly, with nothing pushing back against the instinct. That hunting drive never gets properly calibrated, and it can spiral into constant repetition. And modern homes are, unfortunately, absolutely packed with perfect trigger objects: small, lightweight, precariously balanced items sitting on raised surfaces at exactly paw height: glasses, pens, phone chargers, picture frames. To a hunting brain running ancient software, your entire home looks like a shelf full of targets. So now that we know why this happens, the real question is what you're actually supposed to do about it. Step 1. Redirect, don't suppress. Structured play with a wand toy that mimics erratic prey movement, or food puzzles that require batting and knocking to release a reward, give that hunting drive a legitimate, satisfying outlet, one that doesn't end with a broken mug on your kitchen floor. Step 2. Stop punishing it. Yelling or spraying water might briefly interrupt the behavior, but it does nothing to address the actual underlying drive. You're not correcting misbehavior. You're suppressing a deep evolutionary requirement for movement and stimulation, and that requirement doesn't just disappear because you're frustrated. Step 3 is really just a mindset shift. Stop thinking of this as your cat being a jerk and start recognizing it for what it actually is: a fully intact, remarkably refined evolutionary machine running exactly the way millions of years of predatory pressure built it to run. So next time your cat stares you down and taps something toward the edge of the counter, you'll know exactly what's happening. It's not spite, it's not boredom, it's tactile testing, ancestral flushing, and calibrated hunting drive, all compressed into one small paw movement. That's the real science behind your cat's favorite party trick. Not chaos, but a fully intact hunting system running right there on your kitchen counter. Subscribe for more real breakdowns like this one, and comment the last thing your cat knocked off something.